Hang on. Live chat. Okay. Can someone let me know if you can hear me? I've got my little microphone plugged in, so I'm hoping you can hear me okay. I will just wait for that. Clear. Thanks, Amy. All right, so I will, oh, hello. Hello. I just thought I would start off by saying that oh, thanks, Alicia. The purpose of this is obviously to help anybody who has had to shut down their salons at the moment due to the big C word, coronavirus. I am working on a press-on course, which some of you guys will know already. So I'm not, like the purpose of this isn't to go on all about everything with press-ons, but I thought that it would be helpful to some of you guys to, hi, to know how I would, I guess coming from the point of view of someone who does press-ons all the time, how I would adapt that maybe so that you can keep providing services to your current clients. So I'm going to post this up as a like a regular upload after it's all done. So if you know of anyone who might want to, it could be helpful to, then feel free to share it. But hi. Okay, I'm gonna flick you guys around so you can see my desk and what I'm doing. I just got to find the right thing. There it, oh, is that it? Yep. Hang on. Hang on. There we go. All right. Ignore that. All right, is that okay, guys? So hopefully you can see everything there okay, and I think I can still see your comments, so we should be okay. All right, we'll just get a few things organized. All right, so the first thing I thought I would talk to you guys about is the tips that you use. So I know some of you guys will have, actually let me switch on my better light. There we go. Is that better? I think that's better. All right. So these are your standard sort of press-on tips. And then I know a lot of you guys will have come over from Planet Nails, from their pages, or you will have heard of Planet Nails. So this is, I'm currently actually in the process of switching my press-ons over from your standard sort of tips over to the Vogue system, Planet Nails Vogue system. There's a few reasons for that, and one of them, well, a few of them, they're very strong, they're flexible still, which is great for press-on nails. So I was going to mention a bit about that actually. So in terms of press-ons and what we're looking at doing for some of your clients, a lot of people think you don't want it to be flexible, but in fact, so I guess the best way, I'll use my hands, to describe it is, if you can imagine, if you make this nail stiff, so it's not going to bend, and it has a C-curve like this, and then you try to press it onto a nail that has a flatter C-curve, she doesn't want to go. So there's a gap there, and in order to get that press on, which is stiff and does not want to bend, onto that nail bed, you got to sort of push and work it a bit, and it is uncomfortable. It can actually kind of hurt a little bit for a couple of days even, like make the nails feel a little bit sore. So where possible, hello, the couple of people just came on. Where possible, try to keep your press-ons flexible. So that is a fairly important tip, I would say. There are going to be some times where if people want a lot of nail art, it's going to get more rigid. So there's not a lot you can do about it in some circumstances. But I think for a lot of you guys, the big difference here between normal press-on work and what you guys are going to need to do with your clients through this whole situation is that people who wear press-ons all the time are used to it. They're used to potentially there being a bit of a discrepancy in the size of a nail. So if something's a little bit off, they're used to, if they're more flexible, some people like them more rigid, they're used to all that sort of stuff. Your clients aren't used to that. They're used to having a nail built on their fingers at the time when they're in the salon. So we kind of need to try and work as closely with that so they don't freak out too much. If you sort of try and take them straight over to the press-on world, they're probably going to freak out a bit and go, these are terrible, I don't want to do it again. So we don't want to do that. We don't want to scare them off. But I just want to show you quickly. So I know a lot of you will have your soft gel extension type nail. These are highly recommended, much nicer. I have a few examples here for you. This, when I first started, I bought some tips off AliExpress or something like that. And these arrived. And when I opened the packet up and had a look at them, I thought, wow, these are crap. I mean, crap. So much so that I put the packet away and I labelled them poopy tips, also known as your shitty tip. So let me show you why you do not want tips like this. You can probably already see the difference. Like, this is a good quality normal tip. This is a crappy quality shitty tip. You can see like the difference with the color. Like, you can see this is more consistent in its color and this has this big gappy thing. And quality, I'll show you what happens if you bend even a little bit, and Lord forbid you bend it a lot, they actually will, like, which I can't do with my long nails on, but they actually will crack in half completely. It's really, they're bad. You do not want the shitty tip. If you happen to have any good quality, you know, standard sort of tips, you can use them if you want to. Yes, they are very crap. But the reason I like your soft gel extensions and your Vogues is that we in the press-on world have had to deal with this crap. It's not crap, but it's not this. We've had to deal with this crap for a while. And I hate curvy, like this is curvy and it's like hooky and gross. And since they started developing these sort of tips, I mean, basically these soft gel extensions are just a full cover tip, but they've made them nice. We've got beautiful straight side walls. The shapes are nicer. There's a lot less filing and work to do to get this looking nice. So if you have these, you can use them if you want, as long as it's not a shitty tip. But I would highly recommend for most of you guys to go with, and a lot of you have probably already moved into the world of your soft gel extensions anyway, so I'm guessing that a lot of you probably will already have this sort of thing anyway. So I think that's mostly what I wanted to talk to you about with tips. That's pretty much it. Keep them flexible, use a decent quality, and you are pretty good to go. All right. I made myself a few little notes because I wanted to make sure I didn't miss anything. It's my first live and I thought I might go, and not know what to talk about. So, the next thing, and I think this is probably a pretty important one, is sizing. So what I do, or what I would do for you guys, I think the best way to sort it out is going to be to do a sample sizing kit. So, again, most of your clients, they're not used to any sort of discrepancies with, thank you. They're not used to any sort of discrepancies with sizes or anything. As I said before, press on wearers are sometimes used to, you know, a nail might be a little bit short or, you know, like differently shaped at the cuticle or something like that. So they're often used to that kind of thing. Your clients are not. And again, you don't want them to freak out and go, this is crap. And then just go without nails or something like that in the interim. So this is what I do, and I would highly recommend you do a similar thing for your clients, and that is to get them to try on samples. So if they're local and you can leave them in your letterbox or their letterbox or something for them to pick up, great, post them out. That's what I do. The tips themselves don't cost much. I think I charge $2.50 or something for a sample sizing kit online, but that's also partially because sometimes people, when they're buying on the other side of the world, they buy the samples and then never do anything with them. So yeah, for your clients, you know them, they're already customers of yours. I would just give them or post them out, you know, a couple of bucks in a padded envelope, you're good to go. So take, you probably also already know a lot of your clients what shapes they like. Hi, Tina. Yeah, you probably already know what shapes they like, what they wear. You know, Karen always comes in for a short square or whatever. So you'll probably already have an idea of what appropriate shape to send them. But either way, with these soft gel extensions, they often have a little bit different sizes. A lot of you guys would probably know your traditional tips just go from 0 to 9. These bad boys sometimes have halves and all sorts of stuff. So this particular one, the long stiletto / almond, has 1 to 9, so there's no 0, and there's a 4.5, 5.5, and a 6.5 in the middle. So I take one of every size and I write the number on with a black marker, because trying to get people to read that tiny number is a little bit mean. And you don't want them to tell you the wrong sizes. So write them on with a marker, and then I just pop them all together. See if I can, I'm going to use my thingies because I'm terrible with my long nails on. Pick them all up, and then I put them in a little baggie and I label what they are. Pop them in there. Close it up. And so I was going to suggest for you guys, you could always just staple them to a business card or something, just to sort of, rather than just chucking them in on their own, you could staple them to a business card. I put mine on a little card like this that I've put together. I wouldn't suggest you guys necessarily need to worry too much about going down the road of doing something fancy schmancy, but there's no reason why you couldn't just get a bit of cardstock or something and whip something up on like an Excel document or Word or something, and just put like a simple little table, like, you know, left hand, and then, you know, thumb, index, middle, ring, pinky, and then right hand, thumb, index, middle, ring, pinky, and then get them to write their sizes, whichever fits, in the table, and then they can either give you this back or post it back or take a photo and send it to you. Either way, then you can keep a record, and I would suggest keeping a record for you guys so that your clients don't have to remember themselves or yeah, it's just going to be easier if you keep a record. So something like that's easy. You don't have to send anything like that with it, but it's kind of good, I think, to get people to write them down when they're doing them, because it can be a little bit intimidating. Like whenever I've done sizing with someone, like, you know, been hanging out with a friend and going to make them some nails and said, hey, you know, get your sizes sorted. I've been with them a couple of times and they get a little bit, it's a bit scary, like, you know, which one fits which finger, and they can get a bit weirded out by it. And then they might, you know, if they don't write the numbers down at the time, they might get confused and they write the wrong ones down. And you don't want to do all the work and send them the wrong size nails. And of course they might think that, you know, you stuff something up or whatever. So just a thought, that could be an option for you guys. What else did I want to mention to you? That's pretty much it, I think, for sizing, really. Like, there are other ways to size, which we do in the press-on world when we're, you know, sending nails to someone in Venezuela or something. There are other ways to size, but I would really try and push the sample sizing kits. They are the absolute best way, especially with the soft gel extensions, because I don't know, they're just they're so, the sizes, because there's more sizes, a lot of them are quite close. Sometimes when I'm sizing myself up, like you can try 2 on and they're almost the same, like they look like you know, you could be a size 1 or a 2, because when you measure them, and I will show you how to measure them because you do need to know how to measure them. When you measure them, you'll find that some of them measure the same, and it is a little tricky. They're, in reality, they're probably like, say this now was 17 millimeters, and the next one down might also measure a 17. One might actually be like 17.2, and the other one might be 17.8. But you can't measure 0.2 or 0.8 of a millimeter, so you just get 17 twice. So honestly, it's much easier if you get people to just tell you the size that fits them. Sorry, I'm just reading that comment. Okay, I will show you how to adhere them in a mini, but how long, I am impatient. I always take them off before they're ready to come off. But depending on people's nails, you know, the same sort of deal with when you're doing enhancements. I tend to say to people 1 to 3 weeks for wear. It depends, again, how they use their hands. Do they wear gloves when they're washing up? Do they, you know, garden without gloves? You know, what are they doing? Also, if you have little nail beds, I've got little nail beds. Very little nail beds. So it doesn't take long for, and I have a dirty nail. What have you got on you? Alcohol wipe. Hold, please. I have little nail beds, so it doesn't take as long for someone like me for them to get top heavy, especially when I love to wear really long nails. That's better. I love to wear really long nails, so it doesn't take long for that to be top heavy. So sometimes for me, enhancements, press-ons, whatever it is, I find I can often only get about 2 weeks before. I was a nail biter too, so they grew quickly. So I get top heavy pretty quickly. So someone like me, maybe 2 weeks. Some other people get 3, or dare I say maybe even 4. I don't know, but it is possible. So I hope that helps, and I will show you in a mini about how I adhere them. All right, so we've got 2 options when it comes to adhering nails. Now you've got, and I'll show you, in the press-on world, we do use adhesive tabs. I wouldn't recommend this for your clients. When I first went from enhancements, when I decided I wanted to do press-ons, obviously you have to wear your own work, and so I had to start wearing them myself, and I wanted to wear them with the tabs to see how they felt. And also I kind of liked changing my nails every day. But it is weird to get used to. It's weird. I've glued these on the Savo. This one is a tab. There can be, like, they're pretty secure for the fact that it's a tab, but it's designed to come off easily. So it's never going to be ridiculously secure when it is designed to be able to pop it off and it does no damage to your nail. So they have a place, but I wouldn't suggest these for your clients because they will almost definitely freak out. They're used to, my teacher used to always say, your nails are jewels and not tools, but we all still use them as a tool every now and then. So everyone's used to being able to, you know, put that bit of pressure on their nails, use them to pick things up, scratch something, whatever it happens to be. And when you've got your tabs, you might feel some movement. Again, it depends on quite a few factors, which I won't bore you with because I don't think that tabs are going to be ideal for people in the interim, who, as I said, this video is designed for people who are used to enhancements, and we are trying to find a way where you guys can still service your clients in the meantime. So it's an option, but I wouldn't recommend it. Glue is your other adhesive option. Now, the best glue that I have tried is Planet Nails. Oh, we have a question. If they do pop off, can we place the nail back on the same tabs? Sometimes. When I've worn them with tabs, if I crack one on something, and I've literally cracked one once, whacked it off, and it's gone flying through the air, and then a second later you hear the chink when it's landed. When you find it, usually if you rip it off like that, it actually will keep the tab. It comes off so quickly and with such force that it will keep the tab, what's the word I'm looking for, like whole. So you can actually just pick it up and stick it back on in that case, which is actually kind of handy, even though it's a little embarrassing that your nail just flew across the room. But generally speaking, if you're going to remove tabs, no. Generally it does wreck the tab, because when you remove it, and I will remove it in a little bit because I want to show you guys something, but when you remove it, you grab the nail and you pull and sort of give it a wiggle, and it does distort and wreck the tab. So no, it's not really reusable if you take them off at the end of the day. Some people say the tabs are, and I don't understand it, but some people say, you know, you can get like a with the tabs, or even like, you know, 3 days or something. I don't know how. The closer the press on is to a person's natural nail shape, the less pressure there is. Like if the nail matches perfectly the shape of the natural nail, like the press on, and they match perfectly, there's no pressure, there's no resistance, there's nothing pulling away. But if you've got a curvier press on, and it's flexible, and you are pushing it down onto a flatter nail bed, it does want to pull back up. It does want to go back to its happy place, its resting position. And so you'll find that if, like I find with my regular coffin shape, they're so curvy, it just does not want to stay on my pointy fingers. And I'm constantly, if I use tabs, I'm constantly pushing them back down all day long. It's really annoying. They just keep popping up. So anyway, long story short, tabs have their place, but I say to people, they're for the day out, for the night out. If you're going out in the evening and you want to have your nails on, you pop them on with tabs, you wear them for the night out, and then when you get home, or maybe the next morning, you pop them off. Once you get in a shower, there's going to be a bit of water get in there, and that's where I don't get why people say they think they can last like 7 days or something, because for me, and these tabs that I sell, they're the best that I've tried. They're sort of that little bit thicker, but not so thick that they make the nails look weird. But they do a really good job, but still, once they get wet, they sort of want to pop off. So anyway, glue. This stuff is Amazeballs Planet Nails Resin Gel. It's not a gel in that it needs to be cured in a light. It's just a gel consistency. So it's sort of thicker. It is, I swear to God, I've spoken to Roxanne at Planet Nails and I tell her I'm fairly certain that if there was a nuclear explosion, my nails would still be attached because this stuff stays on. It's really good. And I would also suggest for if you, whether you use this glue, this is a brush on, whether you use this or whether you use a different glue that you send to your clients, I would suggest a brush on. A nozzle, I'm unco with nozzles. There's always too much or too little, or it runs everywhere, it runs into the cuticle, whatever. This is thick so it doesn't run, and it's a brush on, so you put it where you want it. Simple as that. You paint it exactly where you want it, job done, stick your nail on. It's really easy, and your clients aren't used to doing their own nails. Again, press-on clients are used to gluing, doing all that sort of stuff. They might be a bit more handy. And look, I'm not saying, you know, some of your clients might have, you know, glued many a nail in the past, I don't know. But generally speaking, you know, people go to nail salons to get their nails done so they don't have to do it themselves. So I would suggest something like this is a bit more foolproof, and it's, as I said, it's super strong. So this stuff is ace. Now, what else was I going to tell you? Yeah, that's the other thing about, so you want to, if you get glue, and you guys probably, given that you do nails anyway, you probably already know that if you're going to, glue seeps out and it gets on the top of the nail, it's going to make it look yucky. So again, that's where a brush on comes into play. There's, how would clients remove the resin gel? I will get to that in a sec. I'm rambling, sorry. Okay, I will show you. There's a couple of ways you can do it. What I do, maybe I'll take my nail off now and sort of, because I made this one a tab so that I could pop it up and show you what I do, because there is another little, what's the word I'm looking for, a product that I have, which I would recommend you guys consider getting, because it will make removal for your clients way easier. So if they glue their press-ons directly on to their natural nails, then especially with this stuff, you would have to, like, it's probably going to be quicker if they chop the nail down, do the usual soak off thing. You're just going to have to soak them off, and you're going to have to wreck the nails, which is fine, because at the moment, you know, you guys kind of want to continue the pattern of doing your clients' nails every couple of weeks. And press-ons we often make to be reusable, but in the end, they're still made out of the same things that you guys make your nails out of. And you wouldn't expect your nails in a salon to last indefinitely. After a certain number of weeks, they start looking worn or crappy, or your top coats go, what's the word? Like, they look crap anyway, either way. So reusing nails, like reusing press-ons and things, is mostly really for tabs. I sort of tell people to expect, if you glue a nail on, sometimes you can reuse it, yeah, not always. Don't bank on it. So if this is glued directly on the natural nail, you will have to soak it off. So again, chopping it and filing down, you know, filing through the top layer so that you can then soak it. That's going to be probably the best way, probably the only way to remove them if they're glued on just with this. Now I'm going to pop this off, so I'll show you how tabs come off. I'll pop this off and I'll show you how I would glue if I was gluing just on the natural nail. So to remove them with tabs, I may as well show you over here, even though you're probably not going to use tabs, but I just grab the nail and I pull that away from my cuticle, and I wiggle it side to side. So This was stuck on not that long ago, so she's pretty comfortable on there. But that pops off like that. And you've got a naked nail. And my fingers are a little bit blue. I apologize. I had my hair dyed last week and it's blue. And they haven't, like they don't wash vivid colors because they fade quicker. So every time you put your hands through your hair, they go blue, which is awesome. So the tabs will just roll off the back of the nails. I find they stick a little better on the Vogues. Sometimes you get a little residue, a little bit that stays on there, so it just comes off like a blob. If you get a little residue, and always tell your clients hygiene, always wipe. Obviously before they apply the nails, I always tell people wipe the underneath of the nail and your natural nail. So both surfaces that are coming together are clean. So as I said, with tabs, if there's any anything left, just blow on that to try and get it to dry. Yeah, if there's anything left, it will just come off with your alcohol wipe, and then your nail's ready to go for next time. So I want to take that off so I could show you. If you were applying this nail onto, gluing it onto a natural nail, you do all the usual stuff, push cuticles back, file very short. So you can see I filed this about as short as it goes. You don't want any, like if someone had longer nails and they can, you know, the shape of the nail's not always going to match the press on it. It just would look fugly if it was poking out. So file their nail short and buff over the top lightly. Then when you are gluing, I always suggest, so this stuff, I don't know if you can sort of tell, you probably can't, but it is a bit stringy because this one, I've had it for a little while, but it's a lot thicker and much easier to work with. It doesn't run everywhere. So wipe it off a fair bit. I'm not going to glue this on my hand, but apply obviously to the nail, dodging any skin. You don't want to touch any skin with it. What I do as well, this is my extra little tip. When you are applying the glue, obviously you don't want to touch the cuticle. When you are putting the nail on, everyone's different, but with press-ons, if you apply it away from the cuticle, like traditionally we, when we apply, you know, when you do gels or enhancements or whatever, you don't touch the cuticle obviously, so it doesn't cause lifting. If you try to put your press on a little bit further away from the cuticle, I don't know if you can sort of tell, but it sort of just makes it a bit more obvious that it's a press on. Or they can look a little bit more like a nail's grown out a little bit because it's just the nature of the beast, I think. So I actually tend to push them right up against my cuticles when I do my press-ons. So I put them right up against the cuticles. So when you put that glue on your natural nail, you're going to miss a little section there because you don't want the glue to touch the natural nail, or to touch the skin, sorry. So what I do is I actually will put a little bit of glue on the very tip. I'm not going to do it now, but I will put a little bit of glue just on that cuticle end there, so that when they do glue it, that cuticle section there, you're going to get the glue on the nail, but you're not going to get it on the skin because it's underneath that, if that sort of makes sense. I hope that makes sense. But that's my sort of extra little tip, because what can happen if you have a little gap there, you know, if you get a lift in your enhancements, in theory that tiny little section, it might be a tiny little section, but that tiny little section does not have glue on it. So in theory, as they grow out, that end bit is almost like it's a little lift because it's not been glued down. And we know what lifts are like with catching hairs and things like that. It's annoying, not pleasant. So that's sort of my little tip for when you're gluing, get your clients to less is more. I tried to glue some nails on the other day and I don't know what I was doing, but I put too much on and they just didn't want to stay on. So less is more, and yeah, so wipe it off well, apply it on the nail, then apply it on the cuticle section of the press-on, and then obviously start from your cuticle, pop it in there and push it down. And then I hold it for like, you know, your 20 seconds or probably about 20 seconds or so. And then when I'm doing my other nails, I tend to go back and just give them a little bit of an extra push just to make sure, in case I did put a little bit much glue and it hasn't properly sort of sealed in there yet, I will go back and give them a little press as I'm going along. So that's one way to use the glue. If you do it that way, you might like to put a kit together for removal. I know Planet Nails had some kits going. I think they all sold out already, so I don't know if they're going to be able to or going to get some more removal kits. I think it was like a nail file, orange wood stick buffer and some acetone in a little bottle. So they could be good to put something together for removal. Otherwise, I have a little secret weapon which I use, which I don't know if you guys will have heard of before, but where did I put them? Highly unprepared. I swear to God I had like 5 of these over here before. Hang on. I'll open another one. Hang on, guys. Probably rolling over it with my chair or something. I don't know where it is, but I had heaps of them before. All right. So, these bad boys. These, I should say, are, I don't know if you guys have heard of them before, but they are called nail guards. Nail guards are, they're like a very thin, clear sticker that you apply to the nail before gluing, and they are designed to kind of almost replace like a base coat. You can actually use them if you're doing enhancements even. So some people, when they're doing acrylics or gel polish or gel enhancements or anything, they will apply these on first, and it makes removal a million times easier. They are designed to peel off without damaging the natural nail. So these are very cool. And I use them pretty much every time I put nails on. Once or twice I have actually not done it, and with the nuclear explosion glue I've had to literally soak off and destroy the nails, and because of the way I use nails, I like to keep them and reuse them. So I use nail guards where possible. I will show you, I will do like, I'll glue, that's why I didn't glue this nail before, because I wanted to show you how to use the nail guards and how they come off, because they are so much easier than other methods of removal. So one thing I will say, or maybe I'll wait till I'm putting it on and I'll tell you then. All right, so this is one I was hacking at before. In order to use your nail guards, oh, hang on, nail guards here. I was thinking they were just for polishers. No, nail guards, magic. They are awesome. So you pick a size. I kind of tend to know which ones fit me, but you might want to do some, like if you use these, which I would recommend you do, but you might want to do maybe some videos for your clients, like either some lives or just pre-record and edit some videos on how to do it. Yeah, it's very handy though. So you pick a size which fits as close as possible without touching the sidewalls. So just like any other service, If it touches, if your gel polish, acrylic, whatever it is, touches the skin, it's going to lift. So we don't want this to do that either. Same thing. So you pick the one that will be the closest without touching the skin. If you feel like you need to, you can trim it. You literally just take a pair of scissors and just take a little bit off. So that's easy done. Then same preparation as if you were just gluing. Push the cuticles back, file them down short, and then buff the surface, and then give them a wipe with alcohol, as always. Then we take our little nail guard, and one side, I hope I can get this to come across, one side is shiny and one side is more, they changed their recipe recently. It's more matte. It's kind of a bit satiny, but it's not like, one's like a high gloss. One's a high gloss top coat and the other one's a crappy satin top coat. Anyway, the satiny side has that's a backing that will come off. So you take the backing off, and then hopefully I can get this okay without, it's difficult doing stuff on camera because you've got a camera between you and your finger. So it can be a little bit difficult. So hopefully I get this all right. But you kind of want to line it up in the center as much as possible. And then as close to the cuticle as you can without touching. And then it'll sort of, you can just get the center touched, you know, to sort of hold it there. And I'm hoping this side isn't going to touch my side walls. But then you just want to press it down onto your nail. And what will happen is this backing, there's another backing that will come off, and it will leave this thin little sticker on your nail, which I didn't do the best job of getting nice and smooth, did I? But I haven't done too bad. This is crap. We don't do that. Yes, so, come off. Then you just fold down this end part, like I have here, over the end of the finger. Make sure everything's nice and adhered. Like that bit ideally would not be crinkled. Can I get you? I can lift that up and, yeah, sort of. There we go. All right. Take a nail file and you can just file top to bottom to break that seal. So I just go through, file to break it. You can see that. Just breaking it off to detach it. There. And remove that. And that is your nail guard applied. So let's try and get that nice and flush. I didn't do the best job of applying that. It's easier when you don't have nails already on. And you would go through and apply all 10 of these, and then you would start gluing. So when I've got this on, I'm going to give this nail a bit of a wipe again before I glue it. Oops. Just to make sure everything's nice and clean. I give it a little wipe. If you wipe too much, it goes a little funny. It still is fine. I don't know. It just makes me nervous. So I just give it a bit of a wipe because you have been touching it with your fingers and, of course, oils and stuff. So that's your nail guard. Just want that alcohol to dry. Then we do the same thing. The only thing here that I want to point out is because there is going to be a little gap, this one's pretty much edge to edge of my thumb. But there's always a little gap at the cuticle because you don't want it to touch your cuticle. If you do the glue trick that I said before about adding that little bit of glue on here, you can, but you have to remember, so this nail guard is designed to peel off when it's ready or when you're ready. If you get glue, like if you have a nail guard that has a little gap all the way around the edge and you get glue around that nail guard, you are gluing the press-on directly to the natural nail. If that's the case, it's fine. If you want them to stay on that bit longer, that's probably better. The nail guards last surprisingly really well. Like you still get like a couple of weeks out of them. They're really good. But you just have to remember that and maybe you guys might want to sort of make that decision based on your clientele and how you think they might like the nails to wear or remove. But I just wanted to sort of point out that if there is glue there on that natural nail, then that's not going to come off as easily as the part of the nail that has the nail guard on it. So bear that in mind. If I want to make sure they come off really easily when I'm ready to take them off, I will only put glue on the guard. I make sure I do not miss any, like I do not go over anything. I just put glue on the guard. If I want them to maybe stand a bit longer, say I'm going on a plane or on holidays or something, I want them to like be that little bit extra secure, I will put the glue on the edge and just, I don't know, it usually you can sort of still get them off without it being an issue, but it might be a little bit harder to remove. So it's just sort of something to bear in mind. So I'll show you how I apply the nail. So I just I've wiped off my glue and I pop it. Being a gel as well, it doesn't dry quite as quickly. Sometimes you sort of feel like it's like a, it's like a competition with it, whether you can actually get the nail on quick enough before the nail glue dries. But this stuff has that little bit longer. So I'll put glue just on the nail. I apologize, that guard is not as well applied as I normally do, but I think it's because I have, like I said, I've got long nails on all my other fingers already and it's hard with the camera. But so then that's when I will put a little bit of glue, not a lot, just down these edges a little bit. I wasn't going to do that, was I? That's all right, doesn't matter. I'll put that on there. And cuticle, as I said before, I bump mine up against the cuticle and push down and hold it for like your 20 seconds or so. If your clients, you did want them to get that little bit extra wear, and look, it may not make a difference. I kind of just feel like if there's a little bit of glue around the edges, it probably gives you that little bit extra wear. I think it probably will still be easy enough to remove if they're soaking in acetone. What I do with the nail guards is, because a lot of people want to be able to reuse the press-ons that I make, because of the way I do business, yeah, I would suggest to soak in, what actually removes them is acetone-free, good old-fashioned nail polish remover. So I use acetone-free because it doesn't eat the nail, and then I can pop them off and reuse them. How long do they last with nail guards? I still find a couple of weeks usually. It's difficult for me to say because I always get bored and take them off before they're kind of fully ready to come off. But yeah, I'd still say a couple of weeks. But yeah, it depends, I guess, on how well you apply them, and you make sure you get them nice and smooth. And if there's creases and bumps in them, like a little bit, like mine had a couple little creases in it, sometimes that can kind of give a little bit of a gap for something to get in there and work it off. But I found they're still, I don't know, they're pretty magic because they stay on really quite securely, but then they come off really well as well. So it's kind of a happy medium right in the middle between both worlds. So let me just close my glue. Yeah, as I was saying, if you, because you guys really kind of want your clients to just wear these for a couple of weeks and then, you know, not really reuse them, you know, get a new set from you after a couple of weeks, I'd probably just suggest, you know, maybe do it as I did it, put that extra bit of, what's it called, glue in there, and then just get them to soak in acetone. Sorry, what was that question? It's best to use acetone-free nail polish. Only if you want them to sort of not wreck the nail, which is, you know, I think for you guys when you're trying to keep your, you know, your business moving with, you know, still doing new nails for your clients every couple of weeks, you probably don't want them to be able to reuse them as much. I kind of like, as I said earlier, the nails that we make with press-ons are made of all the same things that nails are made when you do enhancements in the salon. I use professional products, I use all the same things. I don't use acrylic, but you can use acrylic if you want to, some people do, but it's made from all the same stuff, and you wouldn't expect if you did an enhancement for someone to be able to wear them indefinitely for years on end without them becoming worn and damaged. After someone wears nails for 2 weeks straight, or 3 weeks or 4 weeks, they're going to wear down a bit if they're typing or whatever they're doing. Their top coats are going to get a bit fuzzy or whatever. Like it happens, you know, they've not yet made products that last indefinitely. So yeah, I sort of think like reusability is really best. Now, the good thing about nail guards that I've learned is that because I've found this way to get them off so easily, it's kind of, it's a bit magical actually, because it means you can have nails that are securely on, like that's on really securely. Like that's not a tab, like that's on really well. You can see my, my cuticle moving up and down, like the nails are on. But so it's much more secure than an adhesive tab, but with the guards, they'll come off really easily. And I will show you, and hopefully the universe isn't mean to me and somehow makes it really hard to remove, but I will show you how I remove these with the acetone-free nail polish remover. And you can sort of reuse them in that way. You would just buff off all the old glue that's on the back of it. I tend to use a nail file, like an e-file, buff off the old glue and reuse them. But again, you wouldn't expect someone that's been wearing any nails for like 3 weeks. I don't know, call me out if I'm wrong, but I don't think any of the nail products that we have are designed to last like indefinitely, you know, throughout everything, apart from that glue. That glue will last through a nuclear war, as I said. But anyway, I don't know. Call me out if you think I'm wrong, but I just don't expect. I say to people, if you glue them, you know, you might be able to reuse them, but I'm not going to promise you that you can reuse them. So, and I think, as I said, given that this video is kind of designed for, you know, you guys that are trying to find an interim for your clients, I think ideally you kind of, you know, you want them to get their good 2-3 weeks, whatever they happen to get out of them. And then, you know, move on. We get a new set. And yeah, we sort of get rid of the oldies. So acetone-free nail polish remover, fine. Acetone itself probably will be, I would imagine, a little bit quicker, but you're going to wreck the nails. So I will show you as well. Oh, the other thing is when they remove the nail guards, they do leave a bit of a sticky residue on the nail, but more nail polish remover, just giving it a bit of a rub, or even just straight acetone, giving it a bit of a rub, will just take that off. So that is pretty easy. I think maybe I'll show you now how I remove one, and cross my fingers that it doesn't play up on me, because Sometimes these things happen to me. And I know this has been going for a little while, and I appreciate all of you that are still hanging around. I hope this has so far been helpful to you guys, and I'm not rambling too much. I think we've got a couple of questions that I haven't seen though. Hang on, let me have a squeeze. Do you just put nail polish on them, or can you help polish on them? Oh, gel polish. Yeah, no, I don't do nail polish. I only do gel polishes, gels. I don't do acrylics. Like, I don't use acrylic, but you can, but it will make them, as I said earlier, it will make them very stiff, and that's not always a good thing. It's usually not a good thing, but agree the eyes to get clients, yeah. Happy while we are closed, yeah. Working you by the nail guards from me, ha. That is not a, I'm not trying to play up nail guards because I sell them. I do sell them, but honestly they are freaking amazing, and I think most people that have used them are pretty well sold that they're pretty good. So thank you, Amy. I'm glad it is helpful to at least one person. Oh, two. Alicia, thank you. So with the nail guards, I placed like a bulk order recently, but I've got like a little under 200 in stock at the moment, roughly. So I will talk to you before I finish about, I was going to run by you guys if anyone's interested in me maybe making up some application kits, similar to what I do for my press-on nails, but I was going to adjust a little bit to see, to kind of work with what you guys are looking towards, but I'll run that by you in a minute. But I think, yeah, with the nail guards, I think that they are for your clients, because I hate filing, like removing nails. I don't know, one of the reasons I trained with biosculpture, and I was pretty good at it, if I do say so myself. But my timing was always horrendous. I always took a long time to do nails, and one of the things I always struggled with was removal. Everybody else gets them off in like 10 minutes, and I'm like going at it forever, and I don't know why, but I always struggled with removal, and your clients aren't trained in it. And I wasn't, I still sucked, but your clients definitely aren't trained in it, and sometimes the removal process can be so tedious. And look, maybe if everyone's locked in their houses, it will give them something to do. So maybe it's not so bad a thing, but I'm going to show you what I do. So hopefully, fingers crossed, everybody touch wood, like literally touch wood right now, because the universe fairy can sometimes be a little bit mean to me. And I don't want this to not work just because the universe fairy is mean to me. So I'm just going to use this little Chinese food container because it's a decent size for me to sort of show you. People at home, I don't know, they can probably use something similar, to be honest, because I will just dip each nail into it. And what I do is I put a bit of pressure on the tip. So I will pop it. It's going to be a little dip. I did film a video a while ago where I sort of set my camera up on a good angle so that I could show you right from the side. And I might, you know, maybe share that video somewhere as a separate entity. But this, because my camera's from above, it's going to be a little hard for you to see. But what I'm going to be doing, hair, go away, is putting in the acetone free nail polish remover up to a certain point, and I'm going to pop my nail into it. You want the nail bed covered, because obviously that's the part that's, you know, attached, like glued onto the nail. You want the nail bed covered in that, and I put a bit of pressure on the bottom of the container with the tip, just to sort of help it pull away a little bit, and once it starts eating its way through there, it helps it lift off. So, fingers crossed, I'm going to pour some of this. Oh my God, it's childproof. Hang on. Okay. Let me read your messages actually before I do that. Oh yay, I'm glad you guys are finding it helpful. Filing messes with my fingers, yeah. I don't have arthritis, I don't think. But sometimes if I've got like, if I'm holding something, you know, for a long time like that, my fingers start to really ache. I don't know what that is, but at the moment I got told by Roxanne to apply these nails by the elastic, which when it comes to removing you have to do a lot of buffing, which if not carefully damage natural. I don't think she meant to apply, like with the Vogues, when you're doing them on a person in the salon, you would apply them with elastic because it's clear. So the elastic can be cured through the clear nail. But when you've got art and things on it, like even what I've got on here, that elastic's not going to cure. I have read one lady said she applies her press-ons with a builder gel and they stay on forever. I don't know how. The light needs to get to it to cure. And it can't get to it if it's not a clear nail, or at least I know some companies do some natural coloured tips. So obviously they're pale enough that the light can cure the gel underneath it. I don't know how they do that. I would imagine you'd risk getting uncured product in there, which wouldn't be ideal. But yeah, I don't think, maybe clarify it with Roxanne, but I think I did watch her live, I think it was yesterday, and she said that she used the resin gel, like the glue, to apply them. But correct me if I'm misunderstanding you. All right, so let's put some of that in there. I'm going to put this lid back on because, knowing me, I'll spill it everywhere. All right. So I'll pop my nail in and do what I said. Get that. I'm sorry I cannot give you a better angle, but I am putting that entire thumb in there. I'm pressing the nail on the thing and voila, it's off. Thanks, Universe Fairy. That is what's supposed to happen. So I think that's pretty magical, personally. That nail was on, like they're glued on, and they are firm and they are secure and they are happy. And that came off in, I don't know, what was that, 5 seconds, 10 seconds, something like that. Like, that's pretty freaking magical, if I do say so myself. I found that out by accident, can I just say? I remembered I was actually, because there's a sticky residue, I don't know if you can see, but there is a sticky residue on there. And when I first started using nail guards, I was like, oh my God, get lost. Like I was buffing it and then wrecking my buffers because they were getting filled with like goop. And then I was just trying all sorts of things. And then I got some nail polish remover. And they've changed the formula of these. The last batch that I had were way better. But look, these still obviously, as you can see, work. And the beauty, like I said, is that the acetone free doesn't wreck the nail. And with these ones, I did make sure I did not apply any glue around the edge. That one I did. So I don't know if that bad boy is going to come off if we try that one. I'm not sure. I wasn't really going to show you all the nails unless you guys want me to take them all off and show you more removals. Let me know if you do. I'm just trying to get that that residue off to show you. So I'm just dipping in the nail polish remover. Sometimes I find if you soak, it can be a little bit stubborn. This is a little bit easier on the last batch before they changed the formula of them. I have a feeling maybe these ones feel like they sort of feel like they're a little bit thicker. They're not really though. They're still a very thin sticker, but I have a feeling these ones might last longer than their last batch, but they're just ever so slightly more difficult to remove, which even then you saw took 10 seconds, but you can imagine how easy the last batch was. Let me see your questions. Ha! I'm glad you guys are wowing, because it's not just me. I think I've got most of that off. It's probably a tiny little bit more residue on there, which again is easier to remove if you don't have like nails on. I'm unco with my nails because I knew one of the things I like about my press-ons is that I can take them off when I do work. I'm horrendous for wrecking my own nails. When I'm buffing my own nail. Like when I'm doing it now, I'm buffing my own nail and they look crap. So I love being able to take them off. and having a empty surface to work with. That didn't make sense because I got distracted. I love being able to take my press-ons off, work with my fingers like with no nails on, and not buffing my own nails and wrecking them. So that's pretty much off. I think that would, what I would probably do is get everybody to, like when they're soaking, at the end, maybe they can soak all their fingers for another, minute or something and then just wipe them off. It still feels a little bit sticky, but that's basically how they come off. I think the sticky stuff comes off even better with acetone. Let me read your questions. Hang on. Awesome. Alicia Proof. That sounds cool. Once we have their nail card done with their sizes, we can just do the new sets. Yep. So they can call you up and say, hey lady, I want some fancy schmancy purple nails next time. Can you rig them up? Because I'm going to take my nails off on the weekend. And you can rig them up and post them out or get them to pick them up or whatever it is, whatever you're going to do with that. And then they can take them off. And this is like ready to go. Maybe it's not. Oh, it's not too sticky. It's a tiny little bit left on there. Just I can't be bothered trying to properly remove right now. It's just a residue. There's a tiny little bit left on there, which even if you've got to remove a bit of residue, it's still a billion times quicker than trying to file and soak and all of that stuff. So I think client-wise, they're going to love these for removal. It's just, yeah, makes it so much better. So yes, you can do new sets. Sold. The nail guards, they are $4.50 each. That is obviously, you can give your clients the option of whether they want them or not. And obviously that's something that they would have to pay for. Yeah, so that's sort of, it's the only downside. I feel like, yeah, it's not too bad. To be honest, I think for that ease of removal, I think it's totally worth it. Like to me, it's like a no-brainer. Like I would pay $4.50 to not have to sit there for ages soaking my nails off. So I do have them. They are on my Etsy at the moment, which is just stickittoThem.com.au. So I do have them there. But as I said, I'm going to talk to you guys in a minute about maybe some kits we can talk about and see if you guys are interested in that. Let me see more of your questions. Hang on. The Amy, you said that would be super helpful so I can pass this info on to clients. What are you talking about? Because you would have written that when I was rambling about something else and I don't remember what I was saying when you said that. Yeah. Or maybe did you think I meant that I could do an application video? I suppose I could, but I was talking about doing an application kit. I don't know. Maybe if someone can make my brain work, I might be a little bit snoozy. Oh, in the kits. Okay, yes. How much would you charge for the set of nails we do for them? Okay. I charge well for my nails. I use the same stuff that you guys do a lot of the time. I use professional products. I take a lot of time. I put a lot of effort into my nails, and so I charge for it. And I think people should be charging more for their nails, personally. I think that we've been undervalued for far too long. And you're worth it. So look, I start my nail prices for my press-ons at, for a set of just a gel polish colour, I start at $35. And then I don't mind if they want multiple colours, but I have a set for $110, which I'll show you in a minute actually, because I've got it on. Oh no, sorry, that's slightly different. I've got a set that I charged $200 for. They are my $110 set that was fully upgraded and blinged out, and it was a bit crazy. But yeah, I wouldn't charge much different to what you charge for your enhancements, to be honest. I mean, you're still putting all the effort into making them a beautiful end product and all the same products and similar time. You're not doing the removal, so I don't know if you want to, like, that's not sort of an issue that I come across, so that's not something I ever normally have to take into account. But I don't know, that's, yeah, I don't know if that was helpful at all. But I did want to say, so I just want to check if there was another question that I missed about that. About the removal of a nail glued on the edge. Oh, when I glued around the nail guard. I can try this one. I mean, it hasn't been on very long. I can try that one in the acetone-free nail polish remover and see if it comes off. Sometimes what I have actually found, and I've got this metal orange wood stick. What you need is you need the nail polish remover or acetone or whatever it is to work its way under the nail guard. However it gets in there, it doesn't really matter. It just needs to get in there. And once it gets in there, it's going to pop that nail guard off. So I found sometimes, and I don't know, I think sometimes if I let the nail slip when I'm trying to glue it, if it slips, it probably moves the glue around the edge if there is a little bit of a gap. So I will, if it doesn't seem like it's wanting to pop off, then I will just ever so gently poke something into the corner. You don't want to hurt yourself. But I will, like, and if they get one of the things in the kits that I was going to show to you, there is like an orange wood stick. I don't know if it'll be firm enough, but you could try it. But I sometimes will just poke. But you know what? Even if they have to soak a little bit longer for the acetone or whatever to get in there, it's still not going to be as long as if it was just a nail you were trying to eat through the normal way with removing with acetone. And I don't remember what B was. Yeah, it's just going to be still, once it gets through there, it's going to be a lot quicker and a lot less painful for your clients to do. So I hope that kind of helps. But I would kind of suggest maybe if you do get like send them a removal kit or something. If Planet Nails maybe get some more of their removal kits going on, maybe that might be worthwhile, because they did have little things of acetone. So that could be good if you got your clients to soak in acetone. That would eat that glue, Amy. So that glue that was around the edge of the nail guard would be eaten by the acetone. So it might take, as I said, a smidge longer because it has to eat through that glue. But once it gets through that bit of glue, it's still going to come off, because the majority of that nail has nail guard on it. It's just going to be that tiny bit. And you might even find that glue is, as I said, nuclear strength, but you might even find after a couple of weeks with acetone or something, it probably or might be a bit quicker to actually break down once you put the acetone on it. So you can always have a play yourselves as well with how that works, but it's awesome either way. They're awesome. Now I was going to show you in terms of I thought it might be helpful also to show you what you can use for stands and like DIY sort of stands. I did order some stands like before this whole, I've been trying to make my press on course and this whole COVID thing has been highly inconvenient for my life. For many people's lives, I know, but I had actually ordered, these are the sort of stands that I use all the time. Mine are well worn, but I've ordered a bunch of these in because I wanted to on-sell them as for people that want to make press-ons, because it's really good. But they have not arrived yet. They are in the ether somewhere with Australia Post. So I thought I would show you some other options of what you can do, what you can use to DIY little stands. Hopefully this is helpful to you as well. 3M hooks. Ta-da! 3M hooks, that one. Oh, I did buy some of these as well. I don't love them as much as I love those other stands, but in the meantime, you need something to hold your nails on so you can paint them. Some people use like a brush or something, like to stick them on or whatever, but you sort of like, you want to make sure, I find it annoying when if the nail touches anything like that, wait, can you see? Yes. If the nail touches anything like that, your gel's going to run onto that, and then you cure it and there's a little sticky bit there, and it's just not ideal. So the 3M hooks are pretty good. Grab them in a packet. I actually stuck some magnets on the back of mine because I have some of these little stands, and so you can zhuzh them on there, and I just find that a little bit easier to hold it rather than holding this, especially if you're doing like a long nail or something. So yeah, Bunnings, pay me a incentive. You know, Bunnings was not involved in the making of this video. Yeah, so anyway, that's one. This other little type, they're probably a bit crapper because they're a little bit too small. So you sort of, I don't know, you don't really have anything. Yeah, I think I hated these actually because you've got your nail stuck on there. So you've got this one on there. There's not as much sort of like to weight bear it, I guess, if that makes sense. But then sort of, I think it was when I was trying to get this off to then put it in the lamp, there's not much to hold on to. With this one, you've got your nail on there. Come back, little wicked boy. How cool is this powder? I love this powder. This is the chrome that I use in my wicked nails, wicked nail set. I call it wicked because it's like green. Yeah, these ones you can sort of pop it off and pop that in your lamp without bumping it. Like I felt myself, even when I grabbed that one, I bumped the edge of that, which is your nail. You're going to bump the nail and go, son of a gun, I've wrecked my top coat, start again. It's kind of a bit annoying. So these ones are probably better, or something bigger that you can get that. And you don't need the magnet stand, to be perfectly honest. You can just sit these on your table. I just had some of these stands as part of things that I've bought in the past. And even, I don't know, some people have these ones, you know, these little chess, these chess set things. You can use that to hold on to it while you, 3M hooks instead of toilet paper. That's funny. Let's bit more glitter. Please contact Bunnings. Tell them about me. Packing them in. Okay, I'm going to show you, Alicia, in a mini about a couple, well, yeah, one kind of idea that I thought maybe could be good for packing, or a couple of ideas, I suppose. Anyway, 3M hooks, good idea. Now, the one thing I was going to say, these ones I've stuck on with blue tack, but I gotta say, there is a better way to hold them on that will hold them on really, really well. And that is your adhesive tabs. I started using them because when I use the tabs, my website, it's an Etsy store, and if you just go to stickittoThem.com.au, that will take you to my Etsy store. Yeah, so these guys, the adhesive tabs, when I wear them, I don't know if these are so hard. Trying to show you something that's clear and reflective is a pain in the butt, but hopefully you can sort of see that. When I use them, I use, there's 12 sizes. I use the biggest ones because my nails aren't really big, so I always have those two left over. So I always keep them. If you have any tabs, if you use them on yourself or anything like that, keep the extras, or even I would even suggest buying some adhesive tabs just to attach the nails to the stands. I have them on, I don't know if you guys noticed before, I use them on here, and they last a bit actually. I thought they would die after one use. Blue tack, you can use blue tack, but they move. And I found the blue tack, as soon as it gets any filings or anything on it, it's bye, bye, bye. They just lose their stick, and they're not as sticky as the tabs. They're just, yeah, they're not designed to sit there and hold it there. Whereas at least the tabs, you know, like I said before, they do a pretty good job for what they're intended for, with the limitations that they have. So I'll show you what I do. If I can get in here with my nail. Yeah. I feel funny, I've got this one naked nail now. If you guys want me to show you any more removals of these other nails, I'm happy to. But I don't know if that's of any interest to anybody, but a little bit of magic for your day. So take your tab off and just stick it on there. I stick it on the edge. And then, so you've just got like one side stuck down. Take it off. Go away. No, go away. Seriously. Okay. And then just sort of fold it over. I don't know if you can see, it's very hard to pale stuff and clear stuff. And then I'd probably just fold that bit over there so it doesn't get in your way. And then stick your nail on that. Give it a bit of a press. Shut up, Beck. That's my friend, Catsliff here. Yes, I'm still going. You know me, I ramble lots. Now, hang on. Let me catch up on my chats. Website. Bracelet boxes. Yeah, bracelet boxes are something a lot of people use. The only thing is, when I first started, I bought some bracelet boxes and they didn't fit these. They did not fit these. And getting them in there was a bitch, excuse my French, although I've already said shitty tips multiple times. But these didn't fit, and trying to get them in when they, like, sometimes some of them would just fit and you're trying to like jam them in there, and it was I didn't like it. I use boxes. I'll show you what I use. I wasn't going to go into this too much because I wouldn't really suggest you guys at this point. Again, this video is really designed for you guys to help your clients in the meantime. I probably wouldn't suggest worrying too much about going down this road yet, but I have these little boxes. I print my own stickers, and I have some, what's that stuff called? I'm tired. Oh my God, mental blank. This, what is it? It's, people, come on. I think I'm having a stroke. This stuff. Tissue paper. That's the one. Thank you. Yeah, I just put tissue paper in, and I'm just going to move this though because that will stick to my tissue paper and then I'll get upset. Oh, get out of my way. Yeah, and then I put my nails on a piece of card, like cardstock, and I stick them in there. But as I said, that can be something you guys worry about if you go into doing more press-on nails. I wouldn't worry about hunting down boxes and stuff at the moment. I will show you in a tick. Let me just see if I wanted, oh, there were a couple more things I wanted to tell you, but I can tell you, I'll tell you this one other thing first, and then I'll go on to the stands. Oh, sorry, the boxes. Yeah, so I would stick these on. Oh yeah, don't get them too close because that happens, and that's really annoying if they're in the middle of curing. Yeah. You sort of like, oh yeah, oh dear. Be wary. I have shown you. Yeah, so anyway, that is on there with the adhesive tab, and that is on there a lot better than your blue tack. So I was going to tell you a couple of other things, that like a couple of other tips. I'm not going to go through doing a whole nail with you guys because you guys already know how to paint nails and do stuff like that, so I don't see the point in doing that. I was just going to tell you the couple of things that I've learned that you probably will need to look at when you do it. Where are my files? So, where's my clear tip? you guys giggling at the things sticking together? Or let me just check. Oh yeah, extra long nails, yes, definitely they don't fit in the boxes. So check the measurements of the boxes. And don't forget, like, you don't want to, like I was saying about, you know, investing in boxes and all that kind of stuff. This is for the interim. Like, once you guys, you know, can get back to opening your salons and stuff, then, you know, you might want to continue with press-ons, and hopefully you all buy my course and learn everything. But, you know, that's sort of something that, that can be worried about later. At the moment, I feel like I'm a real perfectionist and wanted to do like a great video for you guys and, you know, give you all this info, but I was like, stuff it, I'll just come on and do a live and I'll be a wanker and whatever, because I can't not be a wanker. But hopefully then it was just done, you guys had the info, and it wasn't too, you didn't have to wait 8.5 years for me to do a video and edit it to perfection. So here I am anyway. I don't do Afterpay, unfortunately. I would love to. Perhaps if I don't know. The thing with Afterpay is I only have an Etsy, and Etsy, you can't do Afterpay with Etsy. I wanted to do like a Shopify or something, but to be honest, the prices involved with the Shopify are quite high, and Shopify you can do Afterpay, but it was kind of something where if a lot of people were going to be purchasing from me regularly for things, then yeah, it might be worth me switching to a Shopify, and then I can do Afterpay. But at this point, it sort of wasn't. But it is something I'd love to do. But yeah, anyway, why are you telling me Amy's answered, Bex? Oh, tissue paper. Yeah, I saw that. My oh, yay, Amy. Yay for doing my course. Yay, I'm booking you in. I'm going to hunt you down. Okay, so I wanted to tell you, when you are doing your press-ons, you're going to have to get used to supporting the nail when you file it. So this is the one of the things which is annoying. You don't have a finger to hold this straight. You know, normally you've got a finger attached to the end of that, and it's, you know, you can sort of come in here and do your filing and your finger stays where it's supposed to be and everything's great, and the adhesive tab does help, but you know, it's not a finger. So what I find is, and you might want to play around and see what you feel comfortable with, but often the one good thing about not having a finger is you can flip it around any way you want to. You know, you can flip it on any angle you want to. I tend to hold on the top. And again, this is another reason why I take these nails off, so that I'm not filing them myself, because I do that a lot. But I tend to hold it on the top. When I do my nails, I like my stilettos a little bit sharper, and I like my almonds a little bit softer. So when I'm doing my when I'm filing my stilettos, like I don't usually use these stands. I usually use the other stands. So excuse me if I look a bit fumbly, but I will come and hold the top of it to hold it straight, and come in and file it like that. So that's a horrendous file job, but you get what I mean. I will do that, and then I'll come over to this side and hold it there and file this side. So it's obviously easier if you have like a finger and you can hold, you know, the sides of your finger and do that. And the tabs are a little bit better, but they're still, it's going to move. It's annoying. Like you can't file it like that unless you file ever so gently. It doesn't move. And then 8 years later, you might have finished filing that side of the nail. I love that you guys are getting a bit more loopy as well in your chats. I don't know if you're just all exhausted from this going on for so long, but I appreciate you still being here. I think I said that before. I'm just reading more messages. Here for the long haul, yes. Will it be at a venue? It's going to be an online course. So it's going to be, I'm going to be doing up all my videos and getting everything ready, and then it will be a course that you can actually purchase online, watch it at your own pace, and then my plan is to do like a Facebook group, like a private or secret or some sort of elitist Facebook group for just stick it to them schoolies to come into, and I'll be there, and you guys can ask me any questions and chit chat and, you know, answer each other's questions, and, you know, a little community of little stick it to ems. That would be nice. So that's kind of my plan, but I'm still working on it. So COVID got in the way, bros. I mean, I was like, you know, doing it, sorting it out, and then COVID's come in, and now I feel like I wanted to come on here and help you guys with this sort of stuff. Yes, my little elitists. Okay, so anyway, as I was saying, yeah, you might need to flip around a little bit, and yeah, figure out how you're sort of comfortable doing it. I tend to do, like I said, I go this way, and then I'll file that side. Of course, I do it over my nail fan, and I usually actually use a bit of a firmer file. I don't know why. It depends on what I'm doing. I change daily. I don't know if you guys change like as often as I do, but sometimes I'm like, nope, hard, stiff file, not working for me. Get me a flexi file. And then other days I'm like, flexi file, that's crap. Why do I even use you ever? Why are you here? I don't need you. I don't want you. Anyway, I'm just randomly filing this nail into a bit of nothingness. But because the other thing I want to show you is, and sidewall cannot deal, is one thing I always do. Oh, and that's another reason why these are a little bit difficult. Where's me buffer? Hang on. Here she is. Wait. Oh my God, Amy, I think I love you. COVID-19 can deep throat a cactus. That's awesome. I'm calling it the C word. Like, as in I'm calling it the C word. That's my thing. Anyway. Cut, cost, no box. We'll do cards. Maybe interested in press. I'll say, yes. Interesting. What I wanted to tell you, the other thing about this was that when you file, you guys probably know this anyway from whenever you file a tip, but you know when you file a tip and the plastic or whatever goes underneath and you end up with a bit of a, wait, can you see that? I should just do a big old ugly file. Let's just do that. Sorry, stiletto. Okay, you see that crap there? Bum fluff, I love that. Get rid of your bum fluff. What you will find, I always go, that's the only thing about these that can be a little bit difficult, but you just got to work with it. When I get my stands in, these are great because I'll order some more if you guys are interested. These are great because I will just come in here and flip this upside down and get that off nice and easily. And I always do that because if you come in and the other thing I wanted to tell you, which is relevant to this, look at this. What should we call this shape? Ugly. Yeah, when you've got this, it's more difficult to get in there and buff underneath it like I just did. You can at least do it this way, and that tends to sort of break it off a little bit. But I always say to people at the very end, I always look under my nails and make sure there's none of those little bits there because they look icky and unprofessional and yucky. Yeah, when these come in, they're great because you can get under there and do it. And that's what I was going to say. The other thing I wanted to tell you about when you are painting press-ons is that you need to treat the entire nail as if it is your free edge where you would cap. I can't stand this. Hang on. I've got issues. It's just ever so slightly better. At least it's not a weird thing. No, it's still bad. Whatever. Treat the entire nail as your free edge. So when you're doing your gel polish and you cap your free edge on your lovely client, you need to treat this whole thing as a free edge because it is a whole free edge. So you need to make sure when you paint down there, you go, I flip these things all around when I, this one doesn't want to be my friend, look. Wait, no. And what's this one? Hang on. Oh dear. Yeah, this, you need to go all the way around. I flip them all around to make sure I'm getting things, because again, there's no finger attached to it. I make sure I go and there is gel polish all around the edges. The cuticles are a little bit more difficult, but you do really want to try your best to cap that entire thing, because yeah, otherwise it's a free edge, and you guys know the deal with that. I also come in underneath and I wipe off any extras. I have this other thing as part of my press-on course. The reason why I have some stands coming and stuff is because I am planning on selling a lot of the things that you need in order to make press-ons. I think it's cool to have a supplier in Australia. So yes, you can get things cheaper from China, but they take like a month to get here. And I think it's cool to have a supplier in Australia. So that was one of the things that I wanted to kind of achieve with my press-on course, so that you could do the course and also buy the products that you can need to get started, like the stands and things. And this is another one that I have. I don't know if you guys have any of these, but these are my little bum cleaners. I just dip them in a bit of alcohol and wipe underneath. Make sure you're under and not on the edge, so you're not wiping off the cap that you made, but I just wipe off anything on the underneath of the nail. And you can probably just do that with a wipe or something, but I'll be selling these at some point. So let me check your messages again, because I can't see anything coming up on my phone, of course, because there's all these lights shining on it. So I've got my iPad logged in. Can't wait for your stands. Yeah, they're really cool. Never would have thought of that. Is that the bum cleaning? How do you keep from getting gel on the bottom? Sometimes you just don't. Oh, okay. Yeah, you're answering that. Yeah, sometimes you just don't. To be honest, I don't often worry too much. It just, you know what's funny? My mum, when I was growing up, my mum had this friend who did cross stitches. And she was like, Mama always made this point of how Millie's cross stitches were as beautiful on the back as they were at the front. Like her cross stitches, literally you could have turned them over and the back was so neat, it almost looked like the front. And I don't know why, you know how some weird things stick with you from like childhood? I don't know why, but that stuck with me. And so it's like, I like the back to, it doesn't look as nice as the front, but as long as it's not got like blobs. I'm big on looking as professional as possible, which you probably wouldn't gain from this video. But yeah, I think that it looks a bit unprofessional if you've got blobs of gel and crap underneath the nails. And the lady I got trained with at Biosculpture was very strict about that stuff. You wouldn't pass if you had gel underneath the nail. Horrendous. Anyway, that is I think everything I wanted to tell you about painting. Yeah, that's pretty much everything I want to say about that. Now, let me get all this crap out of the way. Let's talk your packaging sort of options that I was thinking about. Just gonna go away, dust. Hang on. Oh, Biosculpture. Biosculpture like to, they're a little bit elitist kind of, in a way. I trained with Biosculpture because down the road from me in the main strip, there's literally, I think it's 4 or 5, what do we call them? NSS, non-standard salons or whatever. There's literally 4 or 5 in a 2-block radius. I'm not joking. In 2 blocks, normal blocks, not, you know, New York blocks, normal blocks. There's 5. And I'm like, well, I can't compete with a place that you know, yeah, NSS, yeah. I can't compete with 5 places that all do acrylic nails. They don't need appointments, and there's always someone there to do your nails, and they charge really cheap. So I found out about Biosculpture, and I ended up getting my nails done with Biosculpture. It's a really beautiful product, but it is pretty expensive. And because of my issues that I had with timing and things like that, I sort of lost my mojo a little bit. I was just working on family and friends, and I kind of lost my mojo a bit. And I was just doing my own nails, and then it was a little bit pricey for me to, like, I tried to just order a few items and ended up like, it was like really expensive. And I was like, yeah, I can't do this anymore. So anyway, that whole pathway kind of ended up taking me towards press-ons. I gave up nails for a bit because I was a bit unenthused, a bit disheartened, I suppose. Yeah, Biosculpture, yeah, very expensive. It is really beautiful product though. I will say it is kind of in a league of its own. It's quite different to a lot of other products out there. And it's like a gel, but it's thin like shellac, and it is a beautiful product, but yeah, it's expensive, and I don't know how many clients these days are happy to pay that sort of amount of money to have their nails done. Yeah, don't support China, Alicia. I'll buy from China, you buy from me. Well, it all comes from China anyway, doesn't it? All our nail supplies all come from there. Oh, thank you for saying that my work is amazing. Okay, so I'm moving on to the how you can package, my sort of thoughts behind it. I was just thinking, let me show you, hang on, I'll just take this out. I sort of had something a bit set up, but I'll take it out and I'll show you this instead first, hang on. I was thinking, what about even something like this, right, in your little sticky baggie. Yeah, it's just a thought. I don't know if you guys think this looks povo or what, but I kind of thought that it could be like a an easy-ish way to maybe send them to your clients. So I've just put a bit of, it's just literally just a piece of cardstock that I've chopped to about that size. You do it over the piece of paper or the nails? Yeah, these are the $200 nails. This guy doesn't want to stick to this thing because he's got a jump ring on the end, so it's making him sit up off the double-sided tape. But yeah, so I've just put a strip of double-sided tape on a piece of sort of cardstock. You could probably even use thicker than this. That would maybe stop it moving as much. But and I have just stuck these guys. This one's just being such a pain in my butt. On there, and then I thought, and usually they're probably not going to be this 3D, so it would probably sit even nicer. But I do have a bunch of these reusable, resealable baggies that you can. I could probably on sell or tell you where to buy them, because I did buy a bunch of them for packaging my nail guards to make sure they stay kind of in one piece when I'm sending them out to people. But something like that I thought could maybe be good. It's pretty simple. Sorry. Yeah, they're pretty shiny. I went a bit cray-cray with these. One of my customers said, can you do your unicorn glass set, but can you upgrade it with bling everywhere? And so I went a bit mental. They're like those crosses are really, I don't know if you guys have seen these before. This one just doesn't want to stick because he's got his little jump ring on the end. That's like very three-dimensional. They sit like, I don't know if you guys saw my video where I showed these off, but they sit like very high. Yeah, anyway, normally your nails, like double-sided tape isn't the absolute most adhesive thing in the universe, but normally when they're not, because that's got the jump ring, I don't know if that makes sense, but the jump ring's lifting it up so that that bit of nail isn't touching, but you could just like put them a little bit lower, if that sort of makes sense. but you wouldn't, yeah. I don't know if many of you people use jump rings on nails. I went a bit crazy, but yeah, so that was a thought. If that's something you guys are interested in, I can either tell you where to buy the products, or I could potentially look into, you know, I've got a paper guillotine. I could chop up some papers and stick them in the cello bags and on-sell them to you guys or something. I don't know, but it's pretty easy to do yourselves, I suppose. We've all got a lot of time right now, don't we? So that was sort of, I guess that was my main thought behind, yeah, how to kind of package them, because like I said, you can get boxes and things, you can do necklace boxes and stuff, but then you've got to order them in, wait for them to arrive. And you know, you've got to, yeah, you end up using a piece of card anyway. Often what you'll do, and the way to get them into the box, actually, I should say, when we talked before about how it's a pain in the ass to get the nails in the box, what I ended up doing, but I do it with my larger boxes, is I get a piece of card and I stick the nails to the card, and then I drop the card into the box. So you could do it that way, assuming your box is, of course, wide enough to fit these. And the boxes I got, to be honest, are pretty ugly. The ones I originally got, the necklace boxes, I got them from a place, they were pretty cheap. These reusable bags are actually not from China. Although I don't know where they're actually manufactured, but I bought them from a place in Australia. And they're meant to be, I think, as environmentally conscious as you kind of can be when you're a resealable plastic bag. I don't know, but yeah, they were, they're pretty good. Anyway, I'm just going to check your messages again, because I see lots of shinies and dribbles and love heart faces. Those reusable bags from China too, huh? No, so I think I'll just quit and be like, that's funny. Look, these, yeah, these are pretty epic. This is not my normal client nails. These, yeah, I went a bit mental. Dangles, and I love the bow though on the unicorn horn. I don't know if I can get in here without everything just blinding you guys, but the bow on the horn is probably like my favorite. And then this one is kind of like a ring. I'm getting distracted, sorry. Anyway, that was a thought for how you could potentially package your nails. Yeah, something like that. Double-sided tape is the quickest and easiest way. I stick mine with, let me see if I can get it. I've got these little squares. They're like 3D sticky square things. And I actually put 2 of them under each nail, and I just find they hold a little bit better, and then you don't see the tape underneath it. But again, I feel like you guys don't need to worry too much about that. I'm a bit of a, you know, perfectionist, and I like packaging to look really nice. I spend a lot of time on my packaging and everything. It's all part of the deal, you know, it's all part of the look. But, you know, I don't know, something perhaps to look towards. But in the meantime, I feel like you guys probably just want to get your nails, like get something sorted, so as soon as people start saying to you, oh my God, my nails really need doing, what do I do? You can sort of help them out like as quickly as possible. Hope I'm making sense. But anyway, so application kits. I had a couple of thoughts for application kits, which if it's something you guys are interested in, I could look into getting everything for you. Obviously, I was not prepared for this to happen. But so I don't have a crap load of products available. I kind of only had what I was going to, you know, use for my own clients. But oh, thank you, Tina. Don't need your retinas, Tammy. So sorry. All right, so this was my thought for I had a thought for like 3 application kits. Let me get my piece of paper because I went through a few options before I decided on something. I thought a starter kit, which you would send to all your clients when you first start, and that would include this little kit with a little mini nail file, buffer, and orange wood stick, then a set of nail guards, and 2 alcohol wipes, which I believe I have sourced. I was going to be a different brand to this, so I was going to say, oh my god, I can't get alcohol wipes, but I believe I have bought some. So that's good. I would sometimes give, depending on what people bought, I would sometimes give more alcohol wipes, but again, I feel like this is something that you guys are going to send to people with every set, and they're not reusing them, so 2 alcohol wipes should be pretty much plenty to to apply for that set. And then a glue. So I think, don't 100% quote me on it, but I sort of worked out some rough prices. I think this sort of kit would end up being about 20 bucks. And of course you would pass that cost on to your clients because the products are going to them. And that, obviously they don't need the glue every time. So that's why I'm sort of calling that like a starter kit. Let me know what you guys think about this sort of thing as well, because this was sort of just my thoughts on, you know, with the direction I kind of feel like would be the best for you guys to go with your clients. And if it's of no use to you, let me know, and, you know, I will not force anyone. But yeah, this was sort of my thought for like a starter kit. And so I think that'd be about 20 bucks, and they would only really need to get that like once. Then I had 2 thoughts for like an ongoing kit. So every time a client buys from me with my press-ons, I send them a kit. And with mine, I send adhesive tabs, and, you know, if they spend more money, they get more stuff. And, you know, God, I've been rambling for so long. I feel really guilty. Sorry. Thanks for hanging around though. But yeah, anyway, so that was my thought for the initial kit. An ongoing kit, I sort of had 2 options, and I don't know, I was looking for maybe some info from you guys about what you thought might be the best idea. One option was basically the same thing without the glue. So you're going to get your file kit again. And that was one of the things I wasn't sure about. Like, yes, Tammy, I will give you my bank details. I will take all of your money. Yeah, so I don't know at this point in time, are people going to want to reuse their nail files and stuff? Or is everyone going to be a bit like, oh, we should throw it out and use a freshie each time for hygiene? You know, I don't know if people are going to think, you know, we should just use this once and then get rid of it and then use a new one the next time. They might even use some of these for removal, which might, you know, make them a little bit more worn afterwards. So maybe they will want another one the second time. I don't know. I would be interested to know what your opinions are on that. If you think you would like to send people a new file and buffer kit every time, or if you think they only need them maybe on occasion. So that was one thought for, you know, like an ongoing thing you'd send with them every other time. And that, again, don't quote me, but I was thinking about $8. The nail guard's sort of a $4.50, and, you know, once you put everything together, about $8. So that was one thought. And then my other thought for an ongoing thing was actually, if you didn't think that they need the nail file sort of kit every time, I was thinking, why not? Let me put this back together. I had this in there nicely before, and then I took it all out to show you the packaging, but get back in there. What about a possibility of sticking this all in the one doobie? So that kit, oh my god, I'm being unco. Hang on, get in there. There we go. Yeah, so yeah, that basically that kit without the nail files buffer thing is just the nail guards and the alcohol wipes, and then you could stick your nails in there as well and send them this cute little package, which has the new set of nails and the nail guards and 2 alcohol wipes. So that was sort of another thought of what could be another option for an ongoing kit, and that'd probably be about $6.50 or so, or maybe it was a little bit less, I'm not sure, but something like that. And I think it was $6.50, just as a thought. So that was kind of, yeah, my ideas on application kits and ongoing kits and stuff. You always put your own things together if you want to, but yeah, this was just a thought. If you were interested, I could get some stuff together and make up some of these sort of kits for you and on-sell them to you to then on-sell to your clients. So yeah, let me know what you think. Hang on, I'm looking at your messages. Reject shop files and buffers. Yeah, so you would think on occasion for the nail file kit, Amy. So they would only need on occasion because they only use it on themselves. So yeah, so that's cool. So that's, yeah, that I guess would be where that would come in. Or even if the nails weren't in there, I could always just like do, you know, just that. And that's pretty simple, you know, chuck that in with the nails, whatever it is. Yeah, sort of, yeah, just a few options. Even, you know, I'd be open to potentially, I've got a paper guillotine, so it's pretty easy to just chop up some strips of paper and pop them in there with it for you to stick your own nails on. That's sort of a possibility. Hang on, we've got more messages. Amy said I like that, but I don't know which one to, because I think there's a little delay on the video. I've got it playing on my iPad so I can read your messages, and I notice like if I do that, it takes like 5 seconds or maybe longer to go. So I'm not exactly sure when you guys say something which bit you're referring to. Oh, I'm a Yoda. Oh, that's cool. Thanks. The nail file kit, most interesting the kits in your online course too. Yay! The packaging with the resealable baggies. This type. Yeah. So that's cool. And if anyone watches this later as well, I would love if you guys, if you found it helpful, to share it on any other pages or anything. If you think there's other people, because I figure we're all going through. Well, not so me so much because I don't have a salon, but a lot of people out there have salons that I'm sure in many countries are closed or closing or going to close, and I kind of thought that maybe this might be helpful to a lot of people even if they didn't catch it live and they get to see it later on. But do let me know if you guys are serious about getting some application kits or something. Yeah, let me know, and I might even start, maybe I can pop a few up on my Etsy shop or something and see how you guys go. Yeah, it sounds like from you guys at least that maybe the initial kit's good and then just this sort of thing for the ongoing one. So let me read your messages, hang on. So Tina, you've already got some of this sort of stuff, I assume, from your card making. So you probably don't need any of this kind of thing. I'm guessing you probably, if you want to go down the road of nail guards though, you can always get them from me separately. I do sell adhesive tabs separately. I sell nail guards separately. Yeah, I sell a few things separately. And if there's anything else you want, you can always send me messages about stuff. And I'm happy to put together like a custom kit as long as I've got whatever I need, whatever you want. I'm happy to work that stuff around you guys as well. So happy to try and help. Yeah, I think that's pretty much everything I wanted to talk to you guys about, really. We've finally made it to the end. Points for our endurance skills, ladies. Yeah, Tina, guards in those reusable bags. You're welcome, Amy. Thank you for watching and hanging out and teaching me about bum fluff. And what was that other thing you said? COVID can suck a dick or something. I like that. Well, it was probably a bit more genteel than that, actually. But yeah, you're welcome, everybody who is saying thank you now. You are very, very welcome. Yeah, if you, that was pretty much, that's probably enough. But thank you for hanging out and watching. And as I've said, and you know, I'm working on the full course, so hopefully now that this video is up, and as I said, I'm happy if anybody wants me to help out with some kits or something, I'm happy to do that sort of thing. But if we're sort of, I feel like I've now given you guys a bit of information to help. Hopefully that means I can maybe get back to doing my course and we can get that going soon, because I think press-ons have been a big thing overseas for a long time, and a lot of people in Australia don't know that they exist. They think press-ons are your $4 crap that you get from Target or whatever, and you know, that's sure they have a place, but you know, a lot of people don't know that you can get something like this. Of course, this is excessive, but that you can get something like this that is a press-on nail. And if they're done well, which I'm sure you ladies have the skills to do a good job, I trust you all. If they're done well, then they, you know, they can look really good. So, yeah, in America, I sell probably most of mine to America, to be honest. And yeah, models and celebrities and stuff. One of the first times when I was, I'm just rambling now, so you guys don't have to hang out through my ramble. But yeah, one of the first ones I heard about was actually J-Lo. J-Lo has an artist, and he has her sizes on file, and just when she's doing a, you know, like a, if she's doing, I need words, like a music video, or if she's going out to an awards night or something, I don't know. Yeah, she'll get him to rig her up some nails for the event, maybe to match an outfit or whatever it may be, and they're press-ons. Like, and I didn't know. And I actually saw Kirsty Meakin recently did a video where she said that she makes, she wears press-on nails a lot of the time when she goes out, because her own nails, I think, can get a bit, well, I think often our nails get damaged when we're doing other people's nails. We always damage our own nails. So I think that's what she said. I can't remember. Anyway, blah, blah. Yeah, Tammy, they've really come a long way. Yeah, the Kirsty Meakin video, yeah. Yeah, so anyway, they've come a long way. They're pretty cool. They do have a place. They're not for everybody, but they are definitely, I think, especially if you work in a salon already, press-ons are an extra market you can capture. So sometimes, like, I think people might come into a salon and they say, oh, can you do my nails for like just the weekend? You know, or I'm going to an event, can you do my nails? And then I want to come back on like Monday and have them removed. And like, these would be a really good alternative, because you often, I suppose, you can't really do like a proper enhancement on someone, you know, to give them nice, big, beautiful long nails. And the beautiful thing about this is you can wear these beautiful, impractical long nails and just rip them off when you have to do anything practical. Yeah, so anyway, I will go now. I will stop harassing you. I hope you guys all stay well and safe, and that this has all given you a lot to think about, and a bit of a spring in your step of something to go forward with, and hopefully it helps you feel a little bit less worried about what to do for now to keep some income coming in. And I just realised I don't even know how to end this live if I want to. Oh, there's an X. Okay, I'll press that. Anyway, hope you stay safe. Take care of yourselves. Take care of everybody else. And may your toilet paper supplies be plentiful, my friends. I will catch you guys soon. Thank you again for hanging out. Mwah, 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 mwah. Bye.